What's up guys, my name is Ace, and Operation Apocalypse Z is here on PS4. And with this we have a quote-unquote new specialist within Black Ops 4. This is Reaper, who is of course returning from Black Ops 3. And in today's video we're going to be breaking down exactly how Reaper works. Before we do that though, we also had one very small weapon balancing update. This was to the Daemon, and I thought I might as well just throw that into this video so you guys can see it here. With the Daemon, in the previous update, they took away its 5-shot kill potential. Now they're nerfing it even further, and they're nerfing its 6-shot kill range by 5 meters, and its 7-shot kill by 6 meters. So here are the pre- and post-patch values for the ranges on the Daemon. This is quite a large nerf, and perhaps even a little bit too far. We'll have to wait and see how it ends up playing out, but this one is a very big nerf. But that's the only change to weapon balancing, and that's why I decided it wasn't worth making a whole video about. I would just throw it in here. Now let's move into Reaper and his special issue equipment, as well as his specialist weapon. As you probably already noticed, the gameplay in the background, yes, it is against bots. That's mainly because I wanted to get this video up for you guys as quickly as possible, and I also wanted to be able to show off the Scythe and the power of Reaper, even though it is against bots. If I played in regular public matches, it could take me quite a bit longer to get this gameplay and therefore get this video up for you. So yeah, that's why you're seeing this against bots today. And kicking it off with this special issue equipment, this is called Radar Shroud, and with this you can shoot this out just like you do with a sensor dart, so it will stick to walls or ceilings or the ground if you want to. You shoot it out, and then from wherever it lands, it creates a radius where you and your entire team will never show up on the minimap. So if you're firing unsilenced guns within there, or you're within an enemy's fog of war, it doesn't matter, you will never show up on the minimap as long as you're within a friendly Radar Shroud's radius. And also, when enemies enter this radius, their minimap goes completely fuzzy. And it's even worse than having like a hacked minimap by Zero. It is completely fuzzed out, so you can't even see the layout of the map at all. Now, the Shroud will take 120 seconds or 2 full minutes to charge. And once it's fired, it will last for a total of 40 seconds unless it's destroyed. And it is very easy to destroy once you see it, just like with the sensor dart. As for the radius of this circle, it's pretty big at 30 meters. So it definitely covers a pretty decent size of the map. And I had a game on Nuketown already where like basically half of the Nuketown map is covered if you use one of these shrouds in a well-placed spot. I should also point out that it's very easy to tell if you're within a friendly radius of that circle. First off, you can see the circle on your minimap. And second, when you're within that radius, you will have a little bubble that appears around your character's little triangle on the minimap. So as long as that bubble is appearing, you are off the enemy's radar, even if you're firing an unsilenced weapon. I should also point out that it's fairly easy for enemies to see this as well. They can see that radius on their minimap as long as they're not standing within the radius. If they're a little bit outside of it, they can see where that radius is, and that will help them pinpoint this equipment, and therefore it makes it pretty easy to destroy for them. I did some testing on this as well, and as far as I can tell, there are no perks that will counter this Radar Shroud at all. So no matter what, this is going to be affecting you. So that's Reaper's special issue equipment. Now let's move on to his specialist weapon, which is the Scythe, but it's not the same Scythe that we had in Black Ops 3. Instead of his arm turning into that gun, instead he just pulls out a giant 50 caliber double barrel machine gun. For this one, in Team Deathmatch, it takes 440 seconds or 7 minutes and 20 seconds to charge, assuming you're not getting any score. Obviously, as you get score, you'll get it much faster, but that's just the baseline. And this is a little bit on the fast side for specialists. It's not the fastest in the specialist category, but it's definitely one of the faster charging specialist abilities. As for the gun itself, it gives you 150 rounds, which is a lot. I do kind of anticipate this will be nerfed in the future. And it will also last for a total of 40 seconds, regardless of whether or not you're getting kills or firing your weapon. It will last for a full 40 seconds, which is a very long time considering the amount of ammo you have to deal with as well. Now this gun deals 80 damage per shot, which means it's going to be a 2-shot kill on a full health enemy. And there doesn't appear to be any damage drop off at all. I tested this at about 70 meters, which is way further than your average line of sight that you'll find on the multiplayer maps. And it deals 80 damage even at that range. Now this gun effectively has 2 modes. When you're hip firing it, it will fire at 517 rounds per minute, which is relatively slow, but at a 2-shot kill, that kind of makes sense to have a somewhat slow fire rate. It still has a ridiculously fast time to kill. But when you aim down sight, you get an even faster fire rate at 600 rounds per minute, and of course you are dealing the same amount of damage as well. Additionally, when you aim down sight, this does tighten up your spread very significantly, as you can see here. You definitely don't want to be hip firing unless you're in those somewhat close range situations. Our aim down sight time with this is very, very slow at 1.2 seconds. Most guns in this game will aim down sight within like 200 to 350 milliseconds. This one will take a full 1.2 seconds. And when it comes to our movement speed, when we're hip firing, we actually have a standard assault rifle movement speed at 95%. This doesn't really slow you down at all to have the Scythe out. And when you're aiming down sight and firing, you get a 75% aim down sight movement speed, which is almost as good as SMGs in this game. It is far, far better than LMGs or assault rifles. You are able to strafe back and forth very quickly, even while ADS. So you can see by the stats here already, the Scythe is an extremely powerful specialist weapon. You will absolutely dominate everything in front of you as long as you don't have completely horrible aim. To top that off, you get to use it for quite a long time. 40 seconds is a long time in Call of Duty, and you have 150 rounds, which even at 600 rounds per minute, it takes you quite a long time to burn through 150 rounds. And therefore, assuming you're winning your fights and you're not missing a lot of shots and you're able to get those fights relatively quickly, you could reasonably get at least 10 plus kills with the Scythe. Technically, you could do even more, and I'm sure we will see some clips and feeds and stuff that are posted at some point. But in its current state, the Scythe is ridiculously powerful. It is probably going to be the best specialist weapon by quite a large margin, and I do anticipate a pretty big nerf to this in the not too distant future. As far as I can tell, there are literally no downsides to using this gun. You have great mobility, great aim down sight strafe speed, a ton of rounds, 2-shot kill with a full auto weapon, which is insane for this game. And this is why I definitely anticipate a nerf. But with that, that pretty much covers it for Reaper and how he behaves in multiplayer. As for my thoughts, I think I just shared my thoughts pretty clearly there. I definitely think the Scythe is completely overpowered in its current state, and it will need some form of a nerf, whether that be to total ammo count, or the amount of time that the Scythe will last for, or even the movement speed. I feel like if you have a giant, really powerful machine gun like that, you probably shouldn't be able to move at the same speed as assault rifles, and strafe at almost the same speed as SMGs. As for the specialist equipment, the Radar Shroud, on paper at least, based on what I've seen, keeping in mind I have very little gameplay experience with it because I'm trying to get this video out for you guys nice and quick, I do like the looks of this Radar Shroud. I think it's a really cool idea. I think it will play well within the meta. It's not completely overpowered, and I don't think it's going to be too annoying to deal with either. So I really got no problems with this, like I said, on paper, and I think it's a pretty good addition to the game. But of course, that's just my opinion, and I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about this update so far, more specifically relating to Reaper? Do you think Reaper is balanced in his current state, overpowered, underpowered? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.